Hey guys, my name is Tito. I make videos on personal finance, saving and investing on my other channel. Around here, however, I talk about other things, like today when I'll be reviewing the new Nollywood film, City Hustlers.
City Hustlers is a comedy that highlights the various types of hustles that people engage in order to survive in Lagos, as seen through the eyes of a bunch of characters. It's produced and directed by Asuelime, Ojie, Eniola.
Now let me start off by saying that the marketing and promotion of this film was not the best. I only heard about this film when I went to go and see The Batman at Filmhouse Landmark like a week ago. I saw the poster for City Hustlers in the lobby, and aside from that, I haven't heard about this film anywhere else. And that's not good. Yeah, so the people behind this film, they need to do better with, the marketing and promotion. If not with this one, at least with their future projects. Secondly, this will be a spoiler-free review. I forgot to mention that. Because there's lots that happens in this film, and if I start talking about the different things that happen to the multiple characters in this movie, this will be a very long review, and we ain't got time for that. The performances. Deyemi Okalawon. Deyemi plays Chike, a 9-to-5 worker who is having a tough time at work and also having a tough time at home with his landlord, and he's also trying to just figure out how to make it and get out of this rat race in this country. And Deyemi was quite convincing as Chike, and I appreciated his performance, and I appreciate what Deyemi always brings to the characters that he plays in these movies, because Deyemi is in a lot of movies, so it only makes sense that he has to try and bring some variety to the roles he plays so that it doesn't look like he's just playing the same character over and over again. Moving on to Linda Osifo. Linda Osifo was good. Typically I give Linda a tough time with her performances in movies. But in this film, she was convincing, she was okay. She plays a woman who just finished her youth service, I do believe, and who's looking for work. And she was believable in the role. The only issue I had with it was that she seemed a bit too experienced. She didn't feel so much like a novice or like somebody just finishing youth service and entering the job market. But aside from that, she did a good job. Bolanle Ninolowo, aka Nino B. I'm a big fan of Bolanle's, and he did a great job. He was funny in this movie. He plays like a playboy, and just remembering some of the things he did and said in this film is making me laugh right now. I am a fan of his, like I said. Nkechi Blessing was also really good. She was in this film. She plays the influencer, or the person who is trying to make it big in Lagos from influencing and also sleeping with people's husbands or sleeping with men. She had lots of screen time. She was good. I enjoyed her performance. Jide Awobono, who is also a friend of mine actually. Jide did really well. I'm particularly pleased about Jide's performance in this film because Jide really gives it his all whenever he's on screen. He really goes above and beyond, and I think when you watch this film, you really notice how real Jide's acting is. I don't get to see enough of his performances or his movies because I think typically his movies, they go to streaming platforms or some other places. They don't really make it to the big cinemas like this one. So I was really glad that for a change, I'm getting to see him in a big movie after so long. So his performance was really good. I think he plays Osaze or Sagi or something, a frustrated young man trying to find work and whose rent is due. And he has some really good scenes too with Akin Lewis. You guys will recognize Akin Lewis from King of Boys, and he was also in Devil in Agbada. I shouldn't have brought that up. His scenes with not just Jide but with the other actors in this film were interesting and they were funny. And I mean, there's so many people in this movie, I can't begin to mention all of them or highlight each of them, but everybody brought something different to the table, and everybody's performance will be appreciated by you one way or the other if you actually do see this film. Yes, I almost forgot. Mercy Aigbe. So Mercy Aigbe has been in the news lately on social media for, things happening in her personal life. And hey, you can't help but be curious sometimes. I realized that I don't think I've seen any Mercy Aigbe film. Mercy Aigbe is a big deal in Nollywood. She has 10 million followers, upwards of 10 million followers on Instagram. And she's a big deal in Nollywood, but I haven't seen that many of her movies. I can't name one movie of hers that I've seen aside from this one. So anyway, the point I'm trying to make is I was really looking forward to seeing Mercy Aigbe in this film and to appraise her acting, and she wasn't too bad. Interestingly enough, she plays Khadijat, who is she's highly placed in a tech firm called IPM. And what struck me is that I have a friend, Khadija Abu, who some of you may know. She's a big deal in, you know, the Nigerian tech space, in communities where, you know, people talk about women in tech and the top 40, under 40 and stuff like that. Khadija's name typically is mentioned. So I couldn't help but wonder if the character Mercy Aigbe was playing in this film, Khadijat, who is a highly placed tech babe, was kind of loosely based or inspired by my friend Khadija Abu. To be honest, I won't be surprised, you know, because Khadija's name is everywhere these days. Maybe the writer saw her name or her story and wanted to, you know, put it in or use it as inspiration for a character in a movie, i.e. this movie. So yeah, how about that? It's one thing to be considered to be influential, it's another thing to be in pop culture, to inspire things in pop culture. So yeah, when this video comes out, I'm going to tell Khadija to try and see the movie. What I liked. Surprisingly, I liked the story in this film and the subplots. I can't remember, or I can't recall seeing a movie where the different hustles that we have in Lagos, you know, was looked at, especially in the way and manner that it was done in this film. It was interesting, it was relatable, and this story, like I said, was good. They got the message across, right? How they got the message across, it had room for improvement if you ask me, but it was sufficient to deliver the movie. Secondly, I liked the acting, particularly Jide's acting, like I said earlier. I can't lie, this film was funny. We laughed a few times, not just me, like, you know, the other people in the cinema. What I didn't like, bad camera work. There are certain scenes in this movie where the camera work was just, it was choppy, it wasn't smooth, it wasn't good. For example, there was a scene in a boutique where Deyemi's character and Mercy's character are talking, right? And the camera is on Deyemi's character while Mercy Aigbe's character is backing the camera, right? So Deyemi is the one that's meant to be in focus, and he was for a little while. But at one point, Mercy's back became in focus and Deyemi was out of focus. And that's just, it's not the kind of mistake that at this level should be happening for a film that's in the cinemas. There are a few other times, you know, where maybe the camera was panning from left to right and it wasn't smooth. Instead, it was bumpy a bit. The editing as well is another thing I didn't like about this film. The editing felt choppy at certain points, like the transitions didn't really, they weren't giving what they were meant to give. At this stage, a film in the cinema that, you know, has all these actors, those kind of minor things or mistakes I felt shouldn't have been happening. So to the director, Mr. Eniola, who also I think wrote the story for this film, your camera guys and your editor and, you know, the crew, particularly the camera guys and the editors, yeah, there's room for improvement. Let them level up a bit more. Who should see it? See City Hustlers if you want to see a film about the different hustles that exist in Lagos. See City Hustlers if you're the kind of person who watches Nollywood movies on Africa Magic or here on YouTube as well, because this film kind of feels like one of those movies. Yeah, see City Hustlers if you don't really mind a Nollywood film that feels slightly lower budget than some of the bigger Nollywood films that we tend to see in cinemas. So yeah, if you fall into any of those categories, then hey, I think you will enjoy City Hustlers. So in conclusion, I actually enjoyed this movie. I didn't expect to, but I did, and we laughed in the cinema. I think there were around 8 or 9 of us in the cinema the day it came out, which is when I watched it. For whatever reason, I counted us in the cinema. Fun fact, there were 4 Europeans in the cinema when we saw this film, and they enjoyed the film too. They were laughing when they were meant to laugh, and it seemed like they were following it. Charles Ojie's jokes and all that, the pigeon and everything, they followed and they flowed, and I was kind of surprised. In fact, they enjoyed the film so much that on the way out of the cinema, they stopped to take a picture standing next to the poster of this movie City Hustlers, and that was surprising to me. I was like, do you know how much you must have enjoyed a film for you to go and stand next to the poster and take a picture of it? I think they were from out of town, but I was just glad that they really enjoyed the film, and yeah, kudos to City Hustlers on that. Interesting. Anyway, if you enjoyed this movie review, I certainly enjoyed making it. Please be awesome and like this video by clicking on the like button just underneath the video. You know where it is. And subscribe to my channel as well by clicking on the red subscribe button. You've watched this far, you might as well do those 2 things, okay? I also make other videos, not just movie reviews on this channel. I do relationship videos as well. Finally, I do have a personal finance channel where I talk about saving and investing, particularly for millennials. Feel free to check that out as well by clicking the link to it in the description box down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been awesome. I will catch you in the next video. Take care.